Hey everyone, this is Quickkill again, presenting you all with my commentary on Caitlyn. Caitlyn is considered a safe pick because of her really long range and thus her ability to farm early game despite being pressured. Caitlyn, actually her range is the longest in the game aside from Tristana with her passive and Kog'Maw with his W. And so, aside from her range, one of Caitlyn's really one of Caitlyn's biggest strengths is her zoning power, and this is largely due to her traps because she can place traps and thus prevent ranged AD carries with lower range, such as Graves, from getting close to the creeps that they want you last hit. So, aside from that, Caitlyn does have a pretty good escape, although she does have some delay on that escape. And also, her skills in general take some casting time, like there's some delay. So, early game, while you might spam those skills, you don't want to spam those skills late game because of that delay, and thus making auto attacks better late game. Although you do want to be careful when you spam skills early game as well, because Caitlyn is a really mana intensive champion, and so if you are going to be spamming those skills, I highly recommend you take 9 points in utility with the 3 points in mana regeneration, because that really does help a lot. So I'm just going to speed this up really fast. So as you can see here, I'm actually playing with my team. This is a ranked match. And so what happens is we start over here in the middle area, and what coming to the middle of the map does is that it really does help in preventing a lot of ganks, because many gankers will go through mid to get you the brushes in the side, and as you can see, Malzahar actually deactivates my trap. I'm just putting the trap there to annoy him. I generally don't do the common Caitlyn strategy of putting 3 traps at mid. I find that should be a really limiting factor on your own laning phase, even though you help your mid. So what I'm going to do here is just help Warwick clear his camps a little bit faster. And it is because of that extra zoning power that I do start W first as opposed to Q. Although if you do play Caitlyn, if you start W, you need to remember that your level 1 fighting power is extremely weak. So like if Graves started Q, which Graves commonly do, you don't want to engage in a fight. So, really big strength of Caitlyn is that she has the ability to harass without being harassed back. And so I'm just going to put a trap there, try to limit the areas where Graves can move. As you can see, Caitlyn is really good at farming, simply because of her range. As a ranged AD carry in general, you should really work on farming, because farming is just so important for bottom lane. Oftentimes, because you do have a support, the opponents opposing jungler, if your support wards well, won't be able to get a successful gank off on you, and therefore that just makes bottom lane to farm more. And so if you, as you can see, I have 25 CS. If you do CS perfectly, by 4 minutes you should have 25 CS. And so I find that for beginner players, getting 100 CS by 14 or 15 minutes is pretty decent. For advanced players, it's often better to get 100 CS by 11 minutes. And like I said, the higher CS that you have, the stronger you are. CSing is also important for AD range carries because you are basically your team's damage late game, and so it's important that you start off strong, continue to farm mid game, and be able to deal out that damage late game. This doesn't by any means mean that like if there's like a team fight going on that you should just ignore your team and continue farming. Like if your jungler is coming to gank bottom, you should definitely go and help. If your jungler decides that, hey, we should do dragon right now, stop farming your creeps and go help your jungler do dragon, because even if you might get more gold from farming creeps, the amount of global gold that you get is just so much more from a successful dragon. So what you can see here is that I'm doing my best to harass Graves, while at the same time farming up my creeps. I'm just gonna actually move the screen out. It's a really nice function of LOL Recorder. I can move my screen out really far. I think it might have been better if I played more aggressively early game against Graves. Soraka is fairly weak pre-6, and as Caitlyn Jenna, I should really be exerting even more pressure than I am right now. And as you can see, I'm forced to let Soraka harass me because I need that CS. So I'm trying to push the lane now a little bit. I'm trying to even out the lane. One of the main reasons why you play aggressively against someone with a support, or like someone with a support like Soraka early game, is that one, you might have the chance to get a kill if you're lucky, but more importantly, it's to put pressure on the opposing AD carries so they can't farm as well. And it doesn't really matter how good you are at CSing if you're being harassed by the enemy AD carry. You're bound to miss more CS than if you weren't being harassed. And so you can see that Graves is now exerting a lot of pressure on me, and it's actually a mistake that I make because Soraka is a champion that is really good against sustained harass. Okay, I did really bad CSing there. And so if you're gonna do like sustained harass, then you're definitely not going to be able to outlane a an AD carry with a Soraka support because she just has so much sustain. The best way to counter Soraka is one, bring in Ignite, and two, you need to really go balls deep. Because after that initial heal from Soraka, she has another 18 to 20 seconds where she can't cast heal again, and so when she casts heal, you turn to the person that she didn't heal. So like if she healed Graves, then you would start attacking Soraka. And I took a lot of damage there. That was not good. And I don't have any sustain, so it's really important that I go back right now, but Graves is pushing the lane, so I don't have any choice but to stay, and because I really want that farm. And so I'm gonna just try to go back as soon as I get this farm. I missed a lot of CS there. That's the whole thing about pushing the about letting Soraka eventually sustain her AD carry, and since I do have a Janna support, I don't have any sustain, so I'll probably miss a wave because I have to go back. To be honest, I should probably have gotten Vamp Scepter and Pickaxe, but I really liked the BF Sword. This is a pretty high harass lane because Soraka can pretty much infinitely restore Graves mana, so as you can see from Graves' farm, he definitely doesn't have as much money as I do, and this is in due part that I already have about 20 more CS than he does. And 20 CS is about, like, if you count each CS, it's around 20 gold. Well, maybe not 20 gold, but close to around 20 gold. It's around 300 to 400 more gold right now than he has. So I'm not doing that great of a job dodging Graves' harass. It really shouldn't be allowing Graves to harass me since I have such a longer range than he does. If you do find yourself being pushed around like this, look at the support's inventory and just call for ganks, because if the enemy team is pushed out this far, that means that they have to constantly be warding, and if they're constantly warding, that means that eventually they'll run out of wards, or they have to go back to base. So that does make it easier to get some ganks. Even though Caitlyn does have a really high range, she does have a relatively low base attack damage. As you can see, my attacks aren't doing that much. This is an interesting ult from Janna. Gave me, like, I don't know, 60 health back. Well, maybe it's not exactly that her base attack damage is really low, but the fact that she can't spam her skills as well as, say, Graves, who has such a high, or not high, but like really wide hitbox. Also, I don't want to push my lane because that would mean that my support would have to ward a lot. Although in this event it's probably better if I do push, because I'm pretty much being pushed out of lane right now. But even though you see that I'm making several of these mistakes, you also see that, like, the fact that the enemy Graves is being so aggressive means that whenever he's harassing me with buckshot and just attacking me, he's also missing some CS, and I'm just focusing on CSing and harassing whenever I can, just to apply a little bit more pressure on him. Alright, so there's a lot of action going on top. I'm actually not sure why. But if you just saw my CS score, it's significantly higher than Graves now. And that will definitely show when I get my items. But back to what I was saying, I'm not sure why there's so much action top. Generally the action should be at bottom, which the team coordinates a lot of, it tries to coordinate a lot of their power into ganking bottom and really just trying to get a kill or get them low enough so that we can dragon. I really shouldn't be taking this harass, but I can't really do much else, and I'm gonna go back anyways soon. Soraka's bananas are really strong. They really do add up. Alright, so now my team's setting up for Dragon. Actually, they've already done Dragon. It really does help that they want top, so that it does take a lot of pressure off bottom lane. Alright, so now you can also see that I'm really high in CS as opposed to Graves. And so I can buy my Infinity Edge and get some sustain at the same time. And also buy a ward or two. It's always nice, even though you are the 80 range carry, to buy a ward or two. Alright, so I think Graves is missing, so I'm just push the lane. It's really good to push the lane when your AD carry is gone, so you make them miss CS once the tower kills the CS instead. And I actually want to push this tower down and start helping my team. I could potentially deny Graves more since I have my Infinity Edge and Sustain, but I figure that it's just better to start completing objectives. Alright, so now my teammate wants to come down and gank, and we're definitely in the position to gank because Veigar is fed now. I could probably almost one-shot Soraka, yeah, so I can just use my ultimate. Probably didn't have to use my ultimate, but it's always nice to be sure. Alright, so I've got this lane push now. I'm going to go ahead and continue pushing bottom since all 5 of us are bottom. Wow, there's a lot of damage she's taking. Alright, so we're just going to hide in this bush because the lane's pushing. We figure that they're probably going to push out to get some more farm. And they do indeed. That was really nice there. Got me that whole skirmish bottom, got me a couple of kills, an assist. And looking at my CS, I have around 212 CS right now. Generally by 20 minutes, I usually get around 160 CS or so. It's 140 is pretty good for lower yellows, but as you get more advanced, you generally want to go for around 160. With Caitlyn, it's especially easier, because Caitlyn, you can't really stop her from farming, so you might want to go for around 170 or 180. So now, as you can see, that even though I was being pushed back a lot, Grace was being really aggressive, but in the end, he didn't get a kill, and I won the lane simply because I just out CS'd him so much. And really, really kills are just really overvalued. I mean, definitely go for the kill if you have a high chance of getting the kill, but you know, I see a lot of people are just going for kills in lane, and it's not worth it. It really isn't. Flash. Oh, well, Soraka ended up ulting Fizz just in time, so I did not get that kill. But as I was saying, it's generally not a good idea to go for kills in lane. A kill is 300 gold, and that's around, 15 to 20 CS. So if you can CS really well and out CS your lane, your opposing AD carry. As you could see, that at only a few minutes into the game, I was already out CSing Graves by quite a decent amount, and at some point I was out CSing him by around like 40, and that's pretty much 2 kills right there already. So that's pretty much me getting 2 kills on him, and we should actually be grouping up and pushing right now, since we do have Baron, but I guess it's okay to split push in this event, since we are coordinated as a team. This isn't solo queue, so I can just push bottom while my team distracts them a bit. And if they come bottom, I see that, my teammates will let me know. And Graves is here, but I'm just so much stronger than Graves right now. He can't even trade with me at all. Like 2 shots and I've already got him down quite a bit. And as you can see, he's not being nearly as aggressive as he was before. Before, Graves would basically dash it and Q me and then auto attack me and everything. Now he's just throwing a smoke bomb to prevent me from getting any more CS. And as you can see, it's not yet 30 minutes, but I already have almost 280 CS. It's actually only around 27 minutes or 28 minutes.